Oh, shut up. Aloha, mother fathers. Welcome in another episode of the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Oh, my goodness. We obviously planned this, by the way, to be in the background. Coming up in the show a little bit later on, Amanda Casey and EC3 back again. Usual suspects this coming Saturday. Again, over in the Waterloo Arts District.
Yeah, 6:05 start time, but you want to get there at 5:05. You want to get there when the doors open. You got a special meet and greet. And to be perfectly honest, you want to get a head start on the drinks, too. I'm not going to lie to you.
Have a great time.
Yeah, and they have great.
And if you have family and kids, there's soda and stuff, too.
Yeah, so.
It's a family show.
Yeah.
Double A's going to be just off balance over the place because he's going to be drunk by the time the first bell rings.
So last time EC3 was here, he mentioned, he was like, hey, if you want to be a good father, you bring your son.
For once.
You bring your kid to this show.
I'm like, shit, I got to bring my son on it.
No, but it was cool. Pete and Jacob, like, they went.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're going again.
Yeah. Good to see us, too. We're hanging out.
Yeah, Rebecca will be there. Like, everybody's going to be there, you know. Yeah. So we can't wait. Loaded card, and we'll talk with EC3 and Amanda coming up.
Excited.
In less than 10 minutes.
Yes.
Right here on the Side Hustle Podcast. Just like last time, they're here in studio. So we can't wait. But let's start the show, as always, with the Sweet Moment of the Week. Brought to you by BA Sweeties. Which, by the way, you can get the new Shaquille O'Neal gummies.
When I saw those, I lost my fucking mind, dude. And the funny part is, like, we were gonna come over to my apartment, my new apartment, for the last WWE live event or premium live event, whatever it's called, and I had a pack, and I was gonna give them to you.
Oh wow!
Because I was like, dude, look what I found.
Yeah, that's crazy. And now,
I ate half of them, and then I think I threw them out because.
I mean, but they were pretty good though.
They're huge though.
Yeah.
They're really good, but you have to have a sweet tooth for it. So, which I mean, everyone is.
That's not a problem. I mean, what was a problem was the Sweet Moment of the Week, and Randy Orton took a pile driver, and the sweet moment is, if you take a pile driver, it's not sweet, but the angle, the story, you know. And I'm interested when we talk to EC3, what his thoughts are on the pile driver itself, and like some of the moves, and some moves that could be banned, because one move can have an impact. And we saw the angle on Friday on SmackDown. One pile driver, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, can do to elevate a feud.
I mean, I give a lot of credit to Randy in that situation. I mean, being able to, take it, considering he's legitimately had a career-threatening back neck issue, to be able to go through that, and again, hope he gets better soon from that. But I mean, yeah, it's a legit move, and you see some of these other things happen with other promotions, other companies, and it just lacks imagination for what they could really bring with that. And I mean, you felt it. And then when they were wheeling Randy away, he's shaking. Cody came out. Cody's concerned.
Yeah,
like it's a whole thing that just makes you just lose yourself.
Well, I love with the commentary, because this is why commentary is so important. The fact that Michael Cole in Graves, Michael Cole immediately changed his tune when that move was delivered, and it went to, look, there's a reason why this move was banned for WWE for years. There's a reason, so automatically, holy smokes, this is serious. And then Randy Orton, the way he sold it, all of it, Corey Graves. This is when you think, wait a minute. You hear somebody like Corey Graves, and for you longtime fans, you know that Corey Graves is not in the ring wrestling today because he's had concussion issues in the past. Where
he's been cleared though.
He's been cleared, but
he's so deep into the.
But you get the point, though. It's like
it took a lot of time off his career, almost all of it, essentially, when it came to making it to that level.
Mm-hmm. And you think about Orton was already out for 18 months.
Yep.
And this is not Cody Rhodes, the world champion. This is Cody Rhodes. Holy smoke, my friend and mentor. His career is not just in deep trouble, but can he be a good father? Those kind of things.
I have a take from all this. What I took from this situation is that we are not getting Cody and Randy at any point. but that rather the real story will be Randy and Kevin. Because we still don't know what Randy told them. We still don't know what led him to flip off like that. They've teased it. They've kind of went around it, but they never really dove into it. There's a lot to tell in that story first. This screams WrestleMania match to me.
Oh, I agree.
And I think we're gonna have to wait for Cody Randy at some point down the road because this is gonna take more precedent, which obviously opens Cody up to a lot of possibilities, but with the bloodline maybe, or you never know.
Now let me ask you this, because we're not going to have much time today, obviously, to talk WWE storylines this week. But let me ask you this. So obviously the bloodline War Games match, the story now is that both teams are looking for a fifth member. And
really great. It was tough to choose between the two moments just based off the recruiting tour that took place over this past Monday, and obviously it's crazy that the one guy who's leading the one team is actually doing the recruiting while Roman, the leader of the other team, is sitting back.
Yeah.
And letting everyone else try to recruit people is hilarious.
I have thoughts on what happened on Monday in a second, but let me ask you this so we don't get off track.
Right.
Doesn't it seem Cody on Team Roman, Kevin Owens on Solo's team?
No.
You don't like that?
Because Kevin will never team with the Bloodline. That's where this all started. His story was, I cannot believe Cody went with Roman and even got involved in this.
But he wouldn't team with the OG bloodline.
I don't think he'd team with either of them. I think Kevin will stay clear of the bloodline shit.
Okay.
He may interfere if Cody gets involved, or if Randy had gotten involved, Randy wouldn't either. But I mean, like, there's it has to tie into one of those two.
So let's think. Next week we're going to talk about who will be the fifth member, who you think the fifth member will be.
I have an idea. Yeah.
And here's another theory that's thrown out. If they actually end up going with five members,
they're doing it. They're doing five.
They're gonna stick with five.
They've legit announced.
Because my running theory was neither team can find a fifth person at all, and they just stick with 4-on-4.
They made the graphic with the 2 question mark figures. Yeah, with the 4 people, and the 2 people are like, "Who's that?" There's going to be 5. I have a theory who I think it may be. If I can take a guess, just because we're not going to talk too much about anything else. I do think it's going to be Seth and Bronson. Just from a standpoint of the amount that story has drawn, to throw it with the bloodline
Bronson Reed, okay,
will only amplify it more.
And you got a killer, basically.
Exactly, and Solo loves that. I think technically Bronson, is he Samoan? I think
maybe
he may be Pacific Island, something like along those lines. And the Tongans
are
Samoan,
so I mean, look it up.
The Tongans literally are not Samoan, so I mean that's the point with that too. But I mean, but with Seth, it's the constant battle, and I like how Sammy drew that in. We're like, hey, anybody knows Roman, it's you.
Yeah,
you know what buttons to push, you know what buttons not to push, you know how to get on his good side, how to get on his bad side. I think Seth will put that aside to get at Bronson Reed because he'll be the fifth member of the team.
My thing is, I 100% disagree on the Seth part. I don't think Seth. I mean, just think about
there's nobody else.
Well, think about if you think about the character of Seth Rollins, what he went through, even back at WrestleMania, the dude freaking killed himself because of Roman Reigns and because of The Rock.
Not the first time. Remember, he turned on Roman first.
I understand that, but I just don't like watching Seth's character. You know, he holds things deep. Like, you saw how offensive it was. Like, I wouldn't even have mine if it wouldn't have made sense in terms of like babyface and heel. I wouldn't have mine if Seth Rollins kicked Sami Zayn's ass. For asking, because it's like, you know what you went through.
I think if Roman can forgive Sami, and they can mend that relationship for a night, I think Seth is a very strong possibility. I think Cody may be pulled in, but that's where KO gets involved and he gets pulled out very quickly. So where they're like, oh, we still don't have a fifth guy, what the fuck? And then Seth eventually gets drawn into it somehow, and there's going to be a lot of animosity. It's not going to be I'm not happy to be here. I don't want to fucking team with this idiot. I don't want to do this. I said the next time I was in a ring with you, and he still might do it. He might let it overcome him. We talked about Roman getting overcome with emotion at WrestleMania. Seth might get overcome with emotion in that moment and say fuck it and curb stomp Roman.
One little thing to point out too, and again, EC3 Amanda Casey coming up in just a minute or two here. One thing to point out, Roman Reigns, if you really think about it, has he apologized to anybody?
He gave Sami a nod.
Mm-hmm.
He he has the yeet on the shirt now for Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy was always in line.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I'm just
Roman
thinking
hasn't changed.
I'm just thinking about all the things that the other guys have gone through.
Yeah.
And Roman has not really apologized.
Could Seth pull that out? Because we talk about the promo with Jay and Jimmy, and even Sammy kind of involved in too. But could Seth be the one who's so emotionally in his head, in Roman's head? Remember, we talked about it.
We did.
It's always
Roman has never, in a one-on-one situation, has never cleanly beat Seth Rollins.
He's so in his head. Is he the one that finally pulls him out to say, listen, you were this guy then. A lot of stuff's happened since then. For this to all work, you need to be that guy again. And you need to fucking do it with these guys that are in the ring with you, too. Because otherwise, we're not going to beat these guys, this other team. Like, can Seth eventually be that guy? We have a couple weeks before they get to that match. Can he pull that through somehow? Can he be the one that pulls that out of Roman, that shows that Roman really has changed? Because right now, he's doing the exact same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Short temper,
Yep.
yelling at the team,
Yep.
losing his mind,
Mm-hmm.
going out by himself at some point and said, I'll take you on. I want to challenge you. Like,
I want to see Jey Uso leave the group again.
and
And then Roman begging him to come back.
the one factor that may pull everyone together, the person we haven't talked about, is Paul Heyman. When does the wise men come back? Because right now, they are a tribe, but there's no game plan. We're just here.
There's no wise man.
There's no strategy.
Yeah.
It's just, we're here. We need to beat these guys. Okay, how? What are we going to do?
Roman's focused on one person, which is Solo.
He's not thinking about Jacob for two. He's not thinking about...
He's so much focused on Solo.
He's not thinking about...
Yeah.
He's not thinking about that guy. I saw a thing with Tonga cuts the promo of his life, and it's just listen up. And then the video ends. I'm like, wow, just fucking Oscar.
I will tell you this: the new bloodline, they are no longer the Temu bloodline. They have stepped their game up.
Wow.
They are no longer the Temu bloodline.
So fuck the pay raise. You just got promoted.
You got promoted in my eyes. Solo's that dude, okay? I will not criticize Solo.
Wow.
You know, Solo's emerging is one of my favorite guys. Jacob Fatu is always there.
The dream matches too, him and Seth, and
man.
they tease that shit because they know like there's so much there. Like Braun Breaker was brought into this a little bit too. I mean, Braun and Jacob Fatu, we talked about, could be a WrestleMania main event in a couple of years. I mean, it's
all right. EC3's waiting outside Amanda. Let's real quick talk about BA Sweeties. Of course, check them out. Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brick Park Road, and when you see the giant lollipop, you will enter into the largest candy store in North America, almost 75 years in business, and you will spot the brand new Shaquille O'Neal gummies.
I think they have sour ones too.
I think so.
Yeah, which I mean, again, they're fantastic. Like it was a lot for me on the diet too, that kind of shit. Like, oh fuck, I can't. In one sitting though, if I was like, going hard, you could eat them, but they are legit, probably the size of Shaq's actual head. So I mean, yeah, go for it. They're honestly so good. Why not?
And as I mentioned before, if you are a fan of a pop or soda, whatnot, of course the multiple different flavors. But the cool thing, if you've never consumed pop out of a glass bottle, this will change your life. You got to go in there and try it out. And they got some crazy flavors too that I might bring into the studio at some point. They got some flavors.
Let's try some shit.
Tom, he was like, I'm going to give you this too. You give it a try. I'm like,
we've had a lot of the good stuff on the show.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get. There's still good stuff, but like the flavors are wacky. Like it's gonna be fun.
There's one I'm going to bring next week that I think we're both going to need to try.
200 different flavors of like sodas. We know obviously the soda shop up front is the 30 different flavors of the ice cream and the different milkshakes and all that, but 200 different kinds of those sodas in the bottles, and we're going to try a few.
And don't forget, too, when it warms back up, coming up next spring, of course, the golf lane as well. 2 full 18-hole courses there for the entire family.
Crown Jewel.
That is there. As Tom mentioned, is the Crown Jewel. EC3 and Amanda's coming up on the other side here. Here's a word from B.A. Sweetie.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Anthony Alfrey here for Side Hustle Podcast and at B.A. Sweeties. Check it out. Golfland, the candy store itself. It's the largest candy store in Northeast Ohio. Wrong. I'm wrong. Not Northeast Ohio. Not just Cleveland, not just Ohio. Largest candy store in North America. You get this Coke, you get any kind of classic pop, popcorn, candies, gummies, anything you want. Ice cream, that's going to open up too. So definitely check it out. BA Sweeties, open year round. Come here today. Come here today. Get some relief from this heat. Come down to Sweeties today on Brook Park Road at Ridge. Just look for the giant lollipops.
Welcome back. Kyle Cornell's here, Double A Anthony Alfred here with you, and we are jacked up. Literally, I'm jacked up because
You chugged 2 Red Bulls before this interview.
I did.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Woo, this is going to be a fired up interview. EC3's here. Amanda Casey's here from Exodus Pro Wrestling. Amanda, of course, WONE 97.5, and which, by the way, the signal comes in really well in Cleveland. Like, really well. Like, I was actually listening in Lake County.
What, you got the bunny ears and everything? Like the antennas and stuff like that?
You got to plug it in. It's 2024.
We have a monster
hook it up.
tower.
He was on top of his apartment building just like, yeah.
Man, have the aluminum foil. Like,
You can get us all the way to Sandusky.
They're really, really strong. But thank you guys for coming here again in studio.
No place I'd rather be than the side hustle with the boys.
Yeah.
And my gal. How much caffeine's in a Red Bull? Is it about 250 milligrams?
Let me
Let's
check.
put a
Let me
eyes on
check.
that.
It's just a
This is
ton.
like 250 would
Can's
be
still cold. He
times
chugged that
2,
thing like
yeah.
right out of the fridge. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's up there.
250?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we
it's
got
up
500 milligrams of caffeine.
I see your Red
In the
Bull. I raised
darkness.
you my 4 shots of espresso on top of the other 4
Oh, my
I already
goodness.
had.
Seems like you have to wake up at
Let's
like 3 in the
go.
morning. Yeah.
Have
This is the
to
most
or get
caffeinated
to?
today of the side hustle podcast.
Who will stand up first during this segment? We will find out.
I'm not going to meddle. Yeah, I'm going to finish 4th.
I couldn't help but notice the last time we were here, 2 things are a little different from last time. Number one, I'm not wearing a suit and tie this time.
Correct.
Thank you.
Is that
Thank you.
because of the other thing?
I'll give it a round of applause. That's great.
But I think it's because of the other thing.
Yeah, the other thing. We're,
There's something that was here last time that is not here anymore.
I know, the greatest relic in wrestling history, the most prestigious championship in all of professional wrestling lore. The NWA World's Heavyweight Championship is not around my waist, nor around my shoulder, nor in my possession. In fact, that honor now belongs to Tom Latimer, who you can see defend it this Saturday at NWA Exodus Presents Usual Suspects live at the Tree Lawn in Cleveland, Ohio. And it just so happens I do actually have a rematch for that match, and it will be myself, it will be Tom, and it will be the third wheel of all third wheels, Richard Holiday, a.k.a. Most Marketable, who's a little bent out of shape over losing his title shot to me at our last show, Journey 2. It's a real devil's triangle.
You know, EC3, man, you put in a lot of work over the past year plus with that title.
Yeah.
I saw the social media stuff afterwards, kind of taking some mental breaks from really the ups and downs of being a champion. Can you kind of talk about what you've experienced over the past number of weeks as you kind of gear up for this opportunity again in this big moment?
Yeah. I don't know what it feels like, but I can imagine postpartum depression.
What are you looking at me for?
Because you've had a child, or 2 to 3. Yeah, so, you know, I don't know what that feels like, but I think this would be the closest I can describe it. Post-title depression, you know. I don't know, when you love something and you work so hard to get something and you do so much with something and you make something so honorable and prestigious and you bring it up to the next level and then it's taken from you, it's kind of difficult. But, you know, it's like Jordan, you know, you have to come first circle. You have to come back around. You got to stay on the horse. You got to ride the horse. You got to jump on it like our boy Cowpoke would, and you have to take back what is yours. So will that happen this Saturday at NWA Exodus? Usual Suspects? We shall see. And so shall you when you come live, 6:05 at the Tree Lawn in Cleveland, Ohio.
Now, Amanda, have you noticed a change in demeanor with EC3 since he's lost the championship?
Be honest.
Because I've kind of noticed, we've only been here for a few minutes, I've kind of noticing it myself.
I would say he is consistently cocky, so not necessarily.
Kid would nod in the background like, yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, like I legit was afraid to even bring it up or talk about it. It affected me. This is my champion. You know what I mean? I'm like, how? How could they do this? How could they do this to EC3? And I am going to be practicing restraint on Saturday because I'll tell you what, I've been thinking a whole lot about Tanya Harding and Tom's knees. So, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, I can't imagine the difference. I do have a question though. Are you still rocking the fanny pack that looks like the belt?
No, I've actually retired it. I actually keep my microdose mushrooms in it, and it's in my bedroom. But, well, hey, you know, it's how you deal with anxiety sometimes, right? No, I do not rock it. I think that's an honor bestowed only upon a champion. I am not he. I am not thee in the moment.
For now.
For now.
For now.
For
Right.
now, yeah. Like she's.
You know,
Go ahead.
I understand the cockiness. I get it. Believe me, I get it. Kyle and I, we both get it. It's just, it's different when you're not the champion.
Yeah, I mean, cockiness, some would say, I would say supreme confidence. You know, I am the greatest living professional wrestler alive. I get that. I am the linchpin. I am the focus. I am the face of the National Wrestling Alliance. I'm the face of Exodus Pro. It's a burden, right? And, you know, when so many people depend on you, especially when you're champion, I don't want to blame anybody, but you can lose focus on yourself when the hopes and the dreams and the aspirations of so many others depend on you too. So I don't know, you can almost feel like you're failing them, you know, some aspects, but then failure is not an option. So we all have our hills to climb. We all have our burdens to overcome. We all have the struggles that make us great. So in this moment, I am not champion, but the one thing about being a champion, winning it, that's one thing, but retaining it is a whole nother thing. And for 1 year, over 76 title defenses, I retained that championship. I am the king of retain. Read into that what you will. Tom Latimer, once that luster wears off a little bit, once that schedule picks up, once that body breaks down, we'll see how he can handle it.
Yeah, I'm curious because obviously recent experience with both of these guys. But Richard Holiday being thrown into this and kind of being in this triple threat, I mean, it makes a lot of things. You could lose this match without even losing this match, technically. Have you thought about that? I mean, because that's a thing where, yeah, not technically, it could happen. He could get pinned and you could not be involved in the result. It's the craziness of triple threats.
What kind of match is it? You said triple threat?
Yeah.
Yeah, three's in my name, okay?
That's true.
I do everything in threes. We're a triangle-based company. Do you understand that? That's why our entranceway is a big triangle. Triangles, isosceles, they all have meaning and they all have intersections. And, you know, it's like, I don't know, there's God, the Son, the Holy Spirit, right? Great things are in three. Do I understand the predicament that possibly I can lose this match without actually losing it? Yes, but I can also win this match without necessarily having to defeat Tom Latimer. And I do have an experience over Richard Holiday where I have defeated him at Journey 2. That was at 6:05, August 24th, in Cleveland, Ohio, at the Tree Lawn. Our best show yet.
Backwards promoted. It was great.
That's right.
Well, it's
Hop in
still
that time machine. You missed it.
it's still available on the NWA's YouTube. So why don't you swing by the NWA's YouTube, watch the show, comment, like it, post. Like, man, Exodus is the best. I want to see more of it, and you shall when you come live this Saturday to the Usual Suspects.
At the tree
6:05
lawn.
in Cleveland, Ohio.
6:05.
Yes, but no.
Waterloo Arts District.
Triple threats are. What's your favorite triple threat of all time? I've been watching a couple.
That's a loaded question.
I have an answer.
Yeah.
I have an answer.
You go first, I think.
No, and Kyle was upset with my answer, but way back in 2005, it was in TNA. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels. But I know it was technically like an Ultimate X match or whatever. But
Did they have the thing hanging up? See, that takes away from a little bit.
I know
But
it
those-
does. I know it does. But that was the first thing that came to
Yeah,
mind.
when TNA first started, though, like when it was the weekly pay-per-view, I remember buying it to watch those three guys. You know, like
How often did you buy those pay-per-views? Because those were every week. they
Yeah, it
had
was
those.
$10 a week, I think.
Yeah.
I would say bi-weekly.
Okay.
Depending on what the card was.
Yeah.
we would pick them up. But yeah, like WrestleMania 20 stands out as a great triple threat. The rematch.
Are we allowed to mention? Never mind. Don't
Yeah,
answer
the
that.
rematch: Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Thou That Shall Not Be Named.
Yeah.
At Backlash, I just
Yeah.
watched that, and that's in Montreal. So they did this thing where Earl Hebner came out, where Shawn had the guy that you don't mention in the sharpshooter, and they were like he's gonna do the deal.
Voldemort?
Yeah, in one way. That's one way to look at it.
Sure.
You know what?
Sure,
We've talked
man,
about his
yes,
son on the show at this
yes.
point, and he's
No,
obviously
yeah.
trying to read. I mean, listen, if you don't know, it's Chris Benoit. It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we say stuff like that, but I mean,
You know, a great
Yeah.
triple threat, pandemic era main event WrestleMania that was in Tampa. I think it was Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman Reigns.
That was
It was
good.
really
That was a
good.
good match.
Really good.
wasn't happy about the ending, but it was a good match.
Dude, you weren't happy about it, but the way they put it together was really cool.
Yeah, the match was great. Like the way it was, you mentioned, like put together, everything worked perfectly. It felt like with both guys getting pinned, it was like, man, that just really
That's,
kind
or that's building something that lasted 5 years
That's true.
to the point of like, you have to think about it too. All of that, those wins that you didn't like at the time, built up to that WrestleMania 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that loss. So it's long-term storytelling. It's cool.
to answer your question too, I'd say probably for me because of the moment and how I reacted in the moment when I watched it, probably WrestleMania 30, the main event with Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah,
That was
really
just
good.
because it was for like for 7 months straight. Just this guy
Right.
needs to be the guy, needs to be the guy. We knew about the injury stuff and everything too, and he like didn't last long in that role, unfortunately. But like that was something where I almost threw something at the TV in excitement because I was like, holy god!
hugely underrated match on that show was Daniel Bryan and Triple H that opened it. That match is sweet. But
That was actually my favorite match on that card. Was that opener?
that match is
Yeah.
really good.
Crazy.
There's this like weird hold Triple H, and you never see him ever do it, but he did to Daniel Bryan, like this kind of key lock looking thing. I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but it was cool because I'm a wrestler.
Yeah.
Might see it on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that stuff.
Let me ask you. Let me ask the both of you this because you both mentioned about the Journey 2 being on YouTube, being available. Is it a little bit of a difference now having the streaming component of these shows as opposed to just going to the live event? What you see is what you get. Now, do you guys more so focus on playing to the crowd in the building or the crowd watching on YouTube?
I think you could play to both, really. When you're doing it right and doing it the right way, you're playing to both. Because if you don't play to the crowd in the building and they're not reacting, whatever you're sitting there watching on your phone or your computer, you're not into because people aren't into it. So you're more likely to turn it off. I think it's an equal balance. But I would say making certain things make sure that cameras can see them. And we're new, and you know this, and we're not like, we have professional production company, but still like at the end of the day, we're not the mainstream promotion yet, so there'll be fallacies or faults and things like that. But I think it's also great for the talent to have that opportunity that, you know, maybe 20,000 people see this, maybe 50,000, maybe even more. So it's a great opportunity for them. They definitely want to look at the cameras when they have their moments. You got to play to the live crowd, though. You just don't want people sitting there bored.
Well, you mentioned you could do both. I mean, there's definitely a
Yeah.
way where you can obviously cater to both sides of it and make it all mean something.
Like, you guys have been to TV wrestling, like AEW or WWE, right?
WWE, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever
I've been in both.
feel like when they have commercial breaks, do they keep you invested, or are you just kind of sitting there going, waiting for 2 minutes?
It's very noticeable that WWE does a much better job just because they've done it longer.
Yeah.
And they know the live events. They know how to do it.
They're an oiled machine.
Yeah.
They got standard, like, running a package that they're going to run every show, or like, oh, kiss cam with whoever.
But to be fair, like AEW, I know they haven't done a lot of great things lately, but they have improved in terms of, all right, year one, we don't know what to do during commercial breaks. At least now they show stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a little different now.
I think it's important to keep the live audience's attention to expedite the show so things keep moving too. So
How do you notice it from an interview standpoint? Because I was actually watching, we went to Journey 2 and watching it again on YouTube, it's like, oh, now from the interview standpoint, like they have to, the talent, and you guys have to not only play to the crowd, but there's a camera there too. There's a hard cam.
It's definitely weird. It's definitely different, especially with the radio background, you know. And I'm definitely used to hosting in front of large groups, you know, whether that's a baseball stadium with 6,000 people or I'm introing someone at a big rock show, but it being produced brings a whole different element to it. I'm very big on the playing to the local audience. I'm very big on keeping that energy up and going. That's something for me that has changed a lot with now filming, because you have to always keep in the back of your mind that this is to be produced.
Mm-hmm.
So less cheesy on my part. And then really, as far as breaks go, it's intermission. So that's when I go full cheese with the crowd. The rest of the time it's restraint, making sure it looks professional. But at the same time, if that's your first show and you haven't been to one that we haven't been filming, you're not going to think anything of it. It's so well done. And the wrestlers, especially the talent, I mean, how many of these wrestlers just suddenly decided they like wrestling as adults? You know, most of us grew up watching this stuff. And the same way, like as a kid, we would fake cheesy sitcom intros, put on some corny instrumental song, and just stuff.
Have a little title card right there.
You know what I'm saying?
How many times we did the Family Matters and the step-by-step
Exactly,
intros?
exactly. So if you are used to watching and you are a fan and then you become a wrestler, I think a big part of that goes back to like your childhood, your middle school years, your teenage years of pretending you already are one, you know? And the biggest thing that I like to say to these guys, and I swear we were just talking about this, is act like you're already there.
Yeah.
You know, you're not an up-and-comer. Act like you're already there, because it sells the whole thing. Act like you've already made it to the big time, because you are in the big time now.
Especially with an audience like you guys are diehard wrestling fans. Sometimes if we don't have, you know, like families or people that are casual fans, they don't know the difference between someone that's an AEW to one of these guys. So perceive yourself as that. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have sometimes, or act like you have the job you want. And, or have, you know what I mean.
Or don't overdress.
Well, and seriously,
Good buddy.
Thanks.
there are so many local promotions in Northeast Ohio. And really, this, I think, is what's setting us apart above and beyond, because to go home and watch it, you know, on NWA's YouTube channel, which, by the way, you can watch Journey too, right there. Go look at it. I was impressed. I said, look at us.
Yeah.
Like, we're legit. This looks so good. And it's everybody's hard work, but it's because everybody, like, lives this.
I've honestly, that's what I was going to say too, is like, you can just tell, like, the professionalism throughout, while still being able to obviously, you know, cater in between things where you can, but like, it just looks different. Like when you think of independent wrestling and you think of just how the shows have been set up, and at least the ones I've been around here throughout Northeast Ohio and stuff too, it feels like it's really a step above when it comes to like, hey, this is really a stepping stone to even bigger things for these guys.
And who else does the long-term storylines like Exodus Pro? Who else locally does these beautiful long-term storylines? I mean, it's
almost like they have like this genius behind everything that just kind of, you know, is able to pull strings.
Do you have
He's sitting on
like
the couch over there, right?
WD-40
Yeah.
to get his head back through the doorway when we leave? Take it easy.
Soaking it in.
But I think that's another thing too, is the caliber of talent that we have on our roster. I mean, these are people that want to be full-on professionals. These are not people that treat it like a hobby, that are like, well, I used to do wrestling, I think I'm going to jump back in. You don't jump in. You do it or you don't. If you're with Exodus Pro, you do it or you don't. You
It's
know?
wow, it's so refreshing, everything you just said, coming from somebody who is outside. Like, you're in, but, you know, looking at it from her outside perspective, everything she said's right, and every wrestler that works with us or aspiring to be should listen to what she said, because everything she said was spot on. And she has full license to go full cheese at any time she wants. You can cheese it up at will.
Hence the Voldemort reference. You're welcome.
EC3, let me ask you this, because obviously you have the wrestling school as well. So this is me as a fan picking a brain of a true professional wrestler, born and raised here in Cleveland.
Hell yeah.
What is your overall opinion of the pile driver? Do you
Well, I mean,
do you like it being used? Do you hate it? You know, I'm only asking because WWE did an angle with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and it was banned basically. But AEW, they, you know, Will Ospreay, he uses it all the time basically.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of that move or any other
think
dangerous moves?
A move of that nature needs to be treated with the respect that the WWE treated it with. Like, to have those rare couple things you can pull out, like in an arms race, you know, like this is the nuke that means everything. And I can remember, like, Steve Austin and Kurt Angle. Steve Austin pile drove Kurt Angle on a stage before their match, where I think it was in Pittsburgh, where Kurt Angle won the title in 2001 after their SummerSlam thing. And I remember Kurt saying, the one thing I hated about doing this is that we shotgunned it so fast that the next week I'm coming back ripping off the brace, where I should have been out for a while. Everything has a risk in wrestling. Every move, from a pile driver to a European uppercut to a uranagi to a scoop slam to a back elbow. So anything could happen at any times. But I love the pile driver, and I love how they used it. So I think, but sure as hell don't teach it. I don't teach it because sometimes I like to do it too, and I like to win with it. So I don't want anyone to have my secrets.
Well, you mentioned that because WWE, we see like different promotions like where guys are doing it 5-6 times in a match, throwing it out there. They're getting right back up after and not selling it.
It means nothing,
yeah.
When you do it like that. And I think something like that can mean a lot. And there's so many other things you can do where you don't have to do that. But, I mean, sometimes, is this PG-13?
Dude, we go to.
You swore last time.
You swore last
shit.
time.
Sometimes people will treat wrestling like porn. And it just you become desensitized to something if you see it a bunch. So it doesn't mean anything. Sometimes I like to have some integrity with my reverse cowgirl. What can I say? Like
Kyle has said worse every
What's
single
that?
week. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's nothing.
No, I know.
I didn't go that
I
down the
know.
road, but yeah, I get it.
Want to play the tape of last week's show?
No, but there's so much to be said about the training that they put their guys through, and watching. I went to the camp one time. I've been one time. And the one thing I noticed is they will run the same move over and over and over until it's exhausted, because they want them to be that confident in doing it that you don't have the mistakes. And so then when you are using whatever move you're using, it's as impactful as you want it to be. And it's as efficient as you want it to be. And they will just, who was it? Hendricks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He was learning this sweet little move where, you jump up onto the rope and then you grab the guy and pull him back with you. And he kept going until he wasn't nervous anymore, because you can't be nervous doing these things. You have to really be an expert at everything that you do. And they just...
You weren't there when he... Oh.
broke his leg?
Yeah.
No!
Not doing that move, but... So, like, anything could happen. He practiced this sort of intense maneuver she's talking about multiple times to get it right. And then on a random happenstance, landed and shattered his ankle.
And that's what the practice is for. God
Right.
forbid that happens in a ring
Yeah.
where you're doing a show, but everything is expertly executed.
Yeah, but things happen for a reason, and Jason Hendricks will be part of Journey 2, and he will have a wheelchair. So let's see what happens. It's gonna be
We
great.
had the same
I should not
aircast,
be laughing at
actually.
somebody with a wheelchair. That's a handicap. A terrible person. Should be doing that.
I mean, what do you think of the pile driver then? Yeah.
It needs to be. I love that angle because we don't see it.
I remember seeing it online. Randy Orton's hurt. I went, oh, gee.
Like,
I love Randy. What happened?
right.
And he got pile driven? Because it's still real to me, damn. I'm like, I can't believe he got pile driven.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he can live. I do.
No, seriously. Like,
The angle with him rolling out, like, legit, he's shaking.
He was shaking.
Like, he looked, bravo to Randy for that, too. But, that was...
And again, I'm not trying to take a shot at, like, Will Ospreay, because I
you
enjoy
don't.
his matches. I do enjoy his matches.
It's a hell of a
But it
match.
was just, we're talking, when you were here last time, we talked about, storytelling and the importance of storytelling from week to week. And I just thought, wait a minute. If we're fighting and I get right back up from your finisher, like 2 minutes into the match, like, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But again, at the same, and I can be critical both ways too. Like, for example, like the Usos when they fought at WrestleMania. All right, you don't have to do the super kick 40 times.
Right.
Like Shawn Michaels, you have the sweet chin music. That's your finisher. Jay and Jimmy Uso, you shouldn't have to do the super kick 40 times just to have a decent match.
I think a lot of talents, because of, I don't want to say scrutiny, but the immediate feedback of the internet and the internet wrestling bubble and terms like work rate and moveset and shit like that means nothing. They feel they have to do that as opposed to being comfortable and confident enough to not do that and then therefore make that mean more, if that makes sense.
So I'm sorry, Kyle. Let me jump in here. So at this level, you got guys who probably want to go out there. Obviously, every rep you want to impress.
Yeah.
But is there ever a point where, going into when you put the match card together, is there a point where you might have to say to somebody, you're not positioned at a point where you need to be stealing the show because you're taking the spotlight away from the next match?
Yes, often. And I often say, too, you can steal the show based on how well you do this small bit, perhaps. And it sucks to kind of say that, but at the same time, their mentality a lot of time to steal the show is do more as opposed to make something mean more, if that makes sense. So I can say that because I've been in the seat where I've been told, it's not about you today, brother. Had fun losing in 3 minutes to this dipshit. All right. And I've been in that seat countless times. What I think talent hopefully feel comfortable with us is there's rhyme or reasons behind that and everything. So even if it's not their night, there's because in the back there's something else going to take place. So you can get over in a loss more than you can get over in a win sometimes.
That's well said, honestly, too. I mean, yeah, just the
Except if you lose the title.
If you lose the world championship,
you just might as
F all that.
You just might as well end it. You've got nothing to live for anymore, Michael.
I can't
Make a
walk
man-
around with a championship
You're gonna make
anymore.
Amanda cry, dude.
It's gone.
No, at
Makes
least you
me
can.
really sad.
At least you
I'm
can
going to
go home
change
to-
the vibe of this right now and talk about something that's actually really exciting for us. Not you losing the championship, which wasn't fun for anybody. But I mean,
Not even Tom.
no, he had a
He
terrible
hated it.
time.
He was
He
like, "Oh,
hated it. He's like, I didn't want to do this.
Did
What
he
is-
cry?
Insults me.
He may have cried.
Will you make him?
I don't know. He's really tough.
That's not the answer I was looking for. But okay.
You met. I mean, he's tough and he's quite handsome. Oh,
That's the tough part. It's like,
Yeah.
Is he though?
If
that's your call, man.
I mean, that's case by case basis.
everything,
Listen, hey, you gotta,
everything
like,
is, I guess,
When
speculative.
we break down the women's, I'm kidding. I'm
If
sorry.
I were of the opposite gender, I would find, I can openly admit to me that Tom would be appealing to me if I were on the other end.
Okay, we have different tastes then. That's cool. That's,
Well,
that's,
like
that's
your
fair.
husband's, I think
That's
your
allowed.
husband's very handsome too.
Well,
and-
we have that in common.
And a hell of a haircut.
Oh, stop it.
I got to ask about a friend of the show.
Please move on.
Yes, we have to.
Got real awkward there.
You guys are handsome too. Pete,
Talk about his traps.
you're a 10.
Hey, what up, Pete?
You're a 10.
Does Pete think Tom is Tom is
When we show the
attractive?
graphic,
Do it?
we'll
Yeah, we're gonna
ask him to rate him on a scale of 1 to 10.
when we start breaking down usual suspects, we'll show the cards. You
Oh,
can
my
judge for
goodness.
yourself. Go ahead, Kyle.
Well, you obviously mentioned your school, which is you guys are doing great work over there. There's a certain student that happens to be a friend of ours on the show that issued a certain open challenge at the last Journey 2 event.
To whom?
Are we going to see Mike from State Farm on the show, possibly?
Oh, Mike from State Farm.
Haven't
Well,
heard anything.
No.
He won't give us anything. We try to talk to him
Well,
about
I'm
it.
good. He's
Good man.
keeping under wraps. Well, Mike from State Farm,
Is he going to at least be there? Is he going to show up?
absolutely.
Okay.
What else is he going to do? So Mike from State Farm's an interesting case because when we started training, he was the only brand new to wrestling person we had, the only quote beginner, fresh beginner, because a lot of these guys came with experience to like learn the other facets of the biz. And he's 40. And
he made that pretty clear when he was in studio with
Yeah.
us. That
Time's
he's
ticking, man. We gotta-
yeah. But he will always have a home with Excess Pro, A, because he's a sponsor, but B, I mean, the band, he's been on a quest. I will say this. He's been on a mission and he's been on a quest. He feels everything that has happened to him is based on Pastor CeeLo and his nefarious ways. He won all those novelty checks. I mean, they just kept, and then, like you heard in the promo he cut at Journey 2, available on YouTube, like, he lost his wife. He lost his home. His dog died. But only when you hit rock bottom Do you have somewhere to go? And that way is up. And I believe Mike from State Farm is on his way up. Is he ready in the ring yet? He might need a little more seasoning. He might need a little more fine tuning. But actually, I think Amanda has a scheduled promo with Mike from State Farm, so we will be hearing from him.
I will get answers for you.
Thank you.
Don't
Please.
worry.
Good.
Please
Yeah.
do. Please
This
do.
Saturday at the Tree Lawn. For
I,
usual
He's been
suspects.
skating around this. We need some results.
Yeah.
So Saturday at the Tree Lawn,
Hey.
a local insurance salesman is going to talk about his life. Yeah, they sold tickets.
So before the triple threat match was announced, I had floated Tom Latimer as a possible opponent because I said, hey, if you're going to shoot for the stars, I mean, try and land on one of them. I mean, the worst you can do is land on the moon, right?
Right.
And
I don't know.
he
Did we land
quickly
on-
put that down about as fast as he walked into the
did.
studio with those long legs. He was over it. Like, he was like, it's like, I would rather not.
I think we have the perfect opponent for him in January when he's ready.
So let's take it back to the beginning, though, because we've talked to Mike about this when he was in studio. I want to get both of your opinions on this. So the very first Exodus show, I'm in the crowd. He comes out. He has to check and whatnot, and like, hey, State Farm insurance guy, like this is a cool dude, whatnot, and we're chanting his name, like I know that guy. And then during the intermission, I actually pulled up the State Farm map, like, dude's an actual effing agent.
He's a big one. He's the real deal.
What does Mike told us when he went to the back that you said something to him? Do you remember this conversation? Or you have to
At
go
the
back
first show,
at the very first show.
I was super happy with how everything transpired. I don't remember what I said verbatim though, but I'd like to hear it.
He pretty much said, "Dude, listen to them. Like, you're over."
Yeah.
Like, did that catch you off guard a little? Both of you, did that catch you off guard a little bit? Like,
Having known him since high school, yeah. I'm like, we're so good we can get saved. Holy shit.
You know what? I think that advertising in general, we have all of these really fun characters that are associated with very serious brands, you know, and insurance is a very serious industry. So how do you make something like that interesting? And Mike takes it to another level. We all know Jake from State Farm, right? Khakis, whatever. Now
Well, the
your
white one or the
insurance
black
agent
one?
is gonna DDT somebody through a table on your behalf, whatever. I don't know, but who doesn't want to cheer for Mike from State Farm? He's the regular guy. He's all of us. So I think that's why people like latched on to him right away, because he came out like this goober. Now he's got the the man bun going. He's starting to get too cool. I think we might have to reel him back a little bit to make him
Okay.
look like the common
Yeah,
man.
I don't know if that's
But
He's on 77 straight to the top. Like,
did
he's
you
going
see his Halloween costume
Yes.
this
Yes.
year?
yes.
What he was
I forget
the
name
tiny head dude from
Oh, was it from
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice?
The shrunken
yeah.
head guy, and it was awesome. This guy goes all out for everything that he cares about, and his passion translates. So I'm not surprised that he went over. I'm not surprised at all, because me experiencing that for the first time as a fan, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." Dude from State Farm? Are you kidding me? It's just fun.
Was that like the initial? Sorry to cut you off, EC3,
No,
but was that kind of like the initial thought, like, hey, maybe they'll pick up on this, or was it more like, I think of a person in that spot more of like, hey, they're gonna get heat for some reason for just being like, he's a professional guy, we're gonna boo him or whatever. it
Yeah,
is.
I think it could have went either way.
Okay.
And that's something you let the fans decide. Like, they're either going to poop all over it or they're going to be endeared.
Oh,
So,
we embraced it.
yeah.
We embraced it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
the wrestling fans, like, they love kind of offbeat, corny nonsense. But then the corny, offbeat nonsense, you want to make sure that if you're doing it, people are laughing with you and not at you. And I think there's this dumb saying when I was in WWE that they were like, funny don't make money. And I remember I had this conversation with a very high-level person there. They said, funny don't make money. And I go, well, Edge and Christian made a lot of money. They had the 5-second poses. It's like, yeah. And I'm like, The Rock, Poontang Pie, he made a lot of money. It's like, yeah. And then I'm like, Kurt Angle, 3 eyes, chugging milk, made a lot of money. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, Stone Cold, cowboy hat, made a lot of money. He goes, yeah, well. And I'm like, DX, saying suck it, made a lot of money. And he goes, okay, I get what you're saying about me, but it's because I had something serious to do beforehand, so I was allowed to be funny. I'm like, well, then let me do something serious. Because if you're not, I'm just going to act like an idiot because you're treating me like one. So, anyways,
We should mention
shout out Paul.
Yes, we should mention, since Mike from State Farm is a proud sponsor of Exodus Pro and our show, that you should definitely check out Mike from State Farm.
He's good.
He is fantastic.
My favorite agent.
Yes, he is fantastic, and we met up with him in his office in Cleveland Heights.
20-minute meeting went an hour and a half.
It's next to my favorite
I would have been
Starbucks.
crawling out of the out of here. I'm good, Mike.
No, it was honestly like I know not knowing him for as long as you have, but like for us, it was fantastic. We just got lost in the conversation with him just because he's that interesting a person. Like there's just so much.
You need to get out.
You guys, you were talking
He
about.
told that to us after. I'm kidding.
He did. He's like, yeah.
You were talking about triple threats. I think that the dynamic of having three people in any capacity adds so much. And you put all the ridiculous on Pastor CeeLo. You put the oh, woe is me on Mike from State Farm. And that just sets PB Smooth up to be the baddest badass. You know what I mean? Without the other parts, that really, to me, built his position and his character in Exodus Pro, because CeeLo obviously is just totally ridiculous, and you can't help but feel bad for Mike. And what kind of jerk would be mean to Mike from State Farm? PB Smooth, that's who. It's like the perfect blend, and that has been just the most fun storyline to watch. And tell me Mike is not going to be the ultimate underdog now after watching this whole thing go on. It's perfect.
That's our champion. I have a sick, twisted fantasy I'll clue you guys in. That
We were just talking reverse
We
cowboy.
talked about if you were a girl, you would love Tom
Where we're
Latimer, so
going.
you're making me nervous.
I
here.
really want the original Jake from State Farm versus Mike from State Farm.
Oh, get out.
Yeah,
Can we find that guy?
I think we can. He's got to be bookable. So if anybody knows that information, find the original Jake from State Farm, please contact us at Exodus, please.
Or if you have khakis and a polo.
Your name happens to be Jake.
Wait till you see this. Wait till you see his ring
We
gear.
gonna just go outside, pull somebody.
What's your name, Phil? Not today. It's
Not today. Get your behind inside. Doors open at 5:05. You got an hour. Just go.
Right. Start stretching.
Start stretching. Start getting after. Speaking of which, because the doors open at 5:05, I know the show starts at 6:05, but why should fans get there early at 5:05?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm always late.
Listen, if you
You're like, wait a minute. This
Because-
is your time. This is your time.
I'd be walking in at 6:04.
listen, one of the biggest things that I say about coming to an Exodus Pro show is you have people that were on the ultimate level. You have people on the way to the ultimate level. And I compare it to minor league in baseball. You know, this week you're playing in Lake County. Next week you're going to be playing for the Guardians. So if you want an opportunity to get some face time with somebody who's going to be massive, that's already entertaining you, show up at 5:05, hit that merch section, get over there, get yourself some merch while you can get a t-shirt for less than $40 before it costs you $60. You know what I'm saying? Like this is that chance to get in there and meet these people face to face and get that interaction. So, plus you can get snacks, you can make sure you get a good seat, all that other good stuff. And they do VIP packages.
Yeah.
So sometimes with the VIP package, you get to see the big dogs like EC3 or Tom or whatever, and you want to make sure that you're there to be able to take advantage of all of those
Well, I think,
opportunities.
yeah, our VIP meet and greet's going to be Dante Casanova this show. Ooh. And I think that's really cool because when we show the graphic, he's going to be in Dante's Inferno. So Noah and myself contacted our graphic guys, and we want to make like a comic book cover so you can get an original copy of that kind of signed by Dante. Nice. Maybe you can catch PB to sign it too. I don't know. We'll see. But
if he feels like it.
Yeah, that's always, little iffy. Before we break down the match card, I do want to get your take on how you put the matches together and the lineup. Like, do you think at all about what match should go where and, how it flows within the show? Or do you just say, hey, main event, and then just work your way down or work your way up?
No, it's a science, and it's a conversation I had with Billy once, the Smashing Pumpkins.
William
WPC, like when he puts together a set list, what's the mentality? And it's like you hit him something here, you do this, you do that. But Noah, sitting on the couch over there, and myself, put great thought and depth into how we structure these things because you want to be on a roller coaster, right? You want your peaks and your valleys, your ups and your downs, where you say there's that spot where it's not really meant to steal the show. They still have that opportunity to steal the moment they're in. But sometimes people need a reprieve. If something's really heavy and hard, you kind of want something lighthearted afterwards. If something's kind of goofy and nonsensical, like Mike from State Farm, you might want to follow it up with something that's like a little more harsh. So definitely a lot of thought, but it's not an exact science, and we battle with that. I think we have a good formula going, but sometimes you got to break the formula too. So we're going to break the formula actually this show. So when we talk about the card,
I know Noah's not on camera, but I do want his thoughts.
He's like, yeah.
And you might have to steal my microphone or Amanda's, somebody's. And you'll probably be off camera, but that's okay. But you guys talk about putting the card together in those battles. From your perspective, what's the science behind putting the card together? And then is there an eternal battle of putting the card together?
Before I answer your question, to answer the reason you should go early,
The
there's
dark
a
match.
dark match.
yes, there is
Yeah,
a
thank
dark
you.
match.
No, he was typing up notes and nobody saw the notes.
I'm allowed to curse?
Yeah.
I wrote on my phone, there's a dark match, dipshit. And I was just showing him. We booked it in
Amanda
Louisville.
handled it very well.
Yeah, no, Amanda did great. But there is a dark match.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It is going
And
to be a lot of fun.
in the spirit of how our shows were initially live only, keep a dark match. But when it comes to booking shows, honestly, I just have great mentors, like that taught me a bunch, like him, Aaron Stevens, and so it kind of just it's a formula, plug and play. We have a roster of the best wrestlers in the Midwest, and sometimes Dante's from Florida and Tiffany's, all over the place, and so it just becomes plug and play. Honestly, it's fairly easy.
Yeah, I was curious about the actual getting these guys and girls to come in too. The difficulty with trying to book certain people. I know there's certain people that are making their first appearance on the show for Exo Pro on Saturday, and just what kind of goes in the thought process of that, how it works, because you guys do tell long-term stories and try to work through, but you also have some people that maybe will come in and like the situation for maybe one or two matches, something like that.
We've created something that we're fortunate that a lot of people want to be a part of, and Noah and I have this difficulty a lot of time because there's a lot of people we like and there's a lot of people we love, and it's hard to find them spots sometimes. A, because of what we're planning for the future of talent, but then B, where do they like fit in? Because we don't need to just have I don't need a good match. We need great moments. And so great moments are often by the familiarity with the fan base being invested in somebody, and then mostly the people that invest in themselves are the ones I want to work with, because that's how I got my start. That's how I made my career, is I took a bunch of chances on myself and I put myself in positions where maybe we come out of pocket to travel to this show, and I'm going to work to get on it just for the opportunity. And anybody that invests in themselves is often rewarded. But a lot of times too, it's like, hey, I'd love to come to your show. I'm like, great, get there. Well, or sorry, pal, but there's nothing really available, especially when we've invested in so many people that have, grown with us. I don't want to, well, you did a great job getting us here, so see you later. I'm going to bring this guy in now. You know what I mean?
It's like a loyalty to that,
Yeah,
obviously, yeah.
extremely loyal.
I'm going to steal your job for a second and ask a question.
Okay.
Pertaining to the booking of talent and things like that, something that I've noticed as a fan of EXO is they are now touring their Exodus Pro titles around and defending those titles in other places beyond Exodus. There's clearly a hierarchy, a circuit where, other territories were all working together now to promote. So I would imagine that some of the scheduling has to do with the other things you guys are trying to work out, because it seems like there's multiple that are working together to all help promote each other.
Yeah. Well, the NWA is developing a territory system. So there's territories, Chicago, Florida, 2 in Tennessee. And we just added Trevor Murdoch, who will be at the Usual Suspects, 1116, 605 The Tree Lawn, in St. Louis. So we definitely want to work within the growth of the territory system. But at the same time, Noah and I like to experiment outside of it. Like, we've seen people, we've known people through our past doing seminars and trainings and traveling. Like, a lot of people have caught our attention that are not within the system that we think would be a good asset to it. So bringing them in, and then you're kind of, I don't want to say mashing dicks, but you kind of you're putting it together. You're mashing it, right? And you're kind of creating these atmospheres where, if we continue to build a brand and a name, that we can have high-level matches with great intrigue and cross-promotional aspects that people wouldn't imagine were possible.
That ought to be our mission statement for the show.
Mashing dicks?
No.
Kyle, that was really good.
I thought he was going to go there.
Well, you're in a dock, and then you're gonna twist it together.
No, you guys definitely look like a crew. When the Exodus people show up at other places, and you can see it in the pictures, you can see this ridiculous camaraderie now that's going on, you know, when they're out in Erie or they're out wherever else. But when you have multiple Exodus people at one show that's not an Exodus show, it's felt.
Yeah,
And it feels like a close locker room, too. I mean, it really does. From the outside, that's what we see. It feels like a close locker room.
Depending on the fact you have to kick each other's asses, I would say it's quite close.
Yeah.
But if one thing we could be very proud of is we cultivated a great culture. And we put the cult in culture at Exodus Pro.
I will say the only one who has ever mean to me, you guys got rid of, so good job. No, we're not going to talk about that right now.
Oh!
Whisper really loud in the microphone.
Was it the text I sent?
No.
Okay, that was fun.
Did you get rid of him?
No, he just kind of stopped.
Oh my God, secrets.
Coming up, we're going to preview the show. Coming up this Saturday, Usual Suspects. We'll do that in just a moment.
We're getting into the Halloween season, and you know what we're really known for? We carry everything. So you can get the boring Reese's Cups and Snickers bars, and I don't mean to say that they're boring, but they're available absolutely everywhere, including here. But what our customers shop us for is all that specialty stuff. So let's say they're in a neighborhood, and you know they get 100 kids for Halloween night. You know, but they got the, 4 neighbors down kids that they absolutely love, so they get something really special, and that's where we really shine, because we've got over 5,000 different items in the store, and about 600,000 pounds now.
What should fans who might be watching you here in Cleveland for the first time, hey, they look you up on the website, on the app, they call you, what should they expect?
Yeah, I mean, first off, between me and my team, you're going to get one of us. If you want to deal directly with the man, you're more than welcome to. I don't mind. I love working with customers because I look at it this way. I have a lot of good life experience financially. I've said 12 years of banking. I've got now 2.5 years of insurance. I have a lot of money and just kind of life and financial stuff knowledge. So that's what I look to do, is to truly help people get from that point A to point B financially. It's not about just, saving money on auto insurance, sure, but if I can kind of turn that into a better discussion, really help people understand what actually insurance does, why it's important, because it's not a tangible. I joke when I leave that I lock the office door so no one steals all the insurance, but there's not just insurance laying around. So there's just it's kind of a mystery kind of component in people's lives that they think is a scam and all the different things you hear. It's not. It can feel like it sometimes. I'm not even going to say that it doesn't, but if you understand how it works and understand and have a person who you can go to help with those kind of situations, that's what we're here to do. That's what my team's here to do. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what I take a lot of pride and have a lot of passion in, obviously, as you can probably tell. So,
well, I know you said the joke, hey, we lock the door so no one steals the insurance, but it's exactly.
All right, welcome back. So here we go. So this card on Saturday. So it was pretty. So before, you guys were doing shows every month, it seemed like, and now
For the summer, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm like, well, this is a bit of a break here, and now we're back at it this Saturday, and I'm very intrigued with these matches. So we'll put up a graphic here on the screen, and we'll go through it here because it's telling. And I'm excited about this women's match coming up.
Yeah, what makes you excited about it?
You go first.
Well, I'm always super excited.
Styles.
The styles. All kidding aside, the styles are really cool. So last time it was the 4-way match, and this time it's a 1-on-1 situation. So I do think from a character standpoint, this is going to be interesting. Although Tiffany's manager is a bit annoying, I'm not gonna lie to you. Couldn't stand the guy.
One second. See that? Tiffany's Mander's not going to be able to make the show.
Did he figure out what pero means?
I try to tell him.
He said he's going to have a statement for us later. So, well, that changes the game a little
It's a
bit.
new development.
Not only will this be, the Exodus Women's Championship match with Maya, I believe NWA's Kylie Page will be there too, with vested interests, dare I say. So, the plot thickens.
So no one in Tiffany's corner.
Maybe the fans. I don't know. She's kind of
Can they rally around her? I don't know. It's going to be kind of tough.
Oh, La Princessa's court has diminished. What do you call?
I don't know about Tiffany. I don't know if she's able to retain this. I don't know.
When you
She's
kill a
been
king,
known to play dirty, though, so we'll see.
We saw last time. We saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you kill a king, it's called regicide. When you kill a princessa, what's that called? Princessicide. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
You were looking,
I was looking.
and the answer is, I was going to say something more along the lines of, if you kill a princess, it's a new champion. But I mean, that's,
I just want to point out this show, we edit nothing out. So I
you are a joy.
thanks.
You're like Joe Rogan. Just
Don't
gonna
say
wing it.
that.
We're not going to keep you
And
here for
she's
3 hours, huh? Because some people.
Let's
never
talk
mind.
about DMT already. The fluoride
Some
in the
people
water.
might not show up.
Speaking of DMT, I'm just gonna throw it to the next match because we have a
Yeah,
six-man tag team match.
Next
Yeah.
graphic, Pete. Oh my god.
There it is, the DMT.
Oh man.
Well, Man Bun Jesus, Sam Beal, Lord Crew. We're having a little bit of a rematch, but the stakes are higher with Carson Drake and the Slime Balls. Aaron Stevens has a promotion within the NWA. He's now the director of territorial development. Excuse me. And so what he's done is he secured 2 title shots, one for the Exodus Midwest Championship, one for the Exodus Tag Team Championship. And this match is a victor goes the spoils, and he's presenting it. So the winner of this match will have a singles title shot and a tag team title shot. So
Poor Carson.
Does that mean he's not going to run away this time? Yeah, I was going to say, he might have to stick around and try and finish
Hold
the
on. What do you
match.
mean, poor Carson?
she's
He is
looking at his
a
face.
very serious and legitimate professional wrestler.
I don't
And
know.
he keeps getting stuck with these stinky, slimy, ridiculous children.
Well-
You don't think he's getting fed up with it?
Illyria, Pepper Pike. Just want to point that out.
What does that have to do with anything?
It just,
What does that have to do with
observation.
anything?
Geographical heat.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you. What I see in that situation, dear sweet Amanda, is that this Carson Drake is almost utilizing them to do his quote dirty work. And considering nobody's more dirty than the Slime Balls, perhaps that's part of his master plan. I kind of see it like you got Richie Rich on one side, and then you got the Goonies if they were covered in shit on the other side, and then he's utilizing those aspects to perhaps secure his future.
oh, shit.
I mean, do you, Carson, baby? Do
I'm
you?
sorry.
So if you go back to the Journey to YouTube, just watch the Slime Boss entrance. It's
Messy.
It's very messy.
Messy.
I'm sorry. I can't get over the
worst
Goonies
thing-
covered in shit line. That's just ridiculous.
the worst thing.
Like the threads I keep falling into where people are talking about Lord Crew, because I feel like
Team
maybe
handsome.
I don't pay enough attention to him, but I catch threads of people talking. Forget LL Cool J. It's ladies love Lord Crew, apparently.
My sister's girlfriend bought a Lord Crew shirt. That's how much the ladies love it.
Really? My friend's boyfriend bought a Lord Crew shirt. That's how much he loves
A little
it.
bit of this, a little bit of that.
I'm just saying. So,
How's my boy Man Bun Jesus? How's he doing? Is he
He's
he
floating
doing well?
around.
blessed.
He segues.
That's my guy, man.
He segues between dimensions here and
Dude.
there.
And Sam Beal is getting all lean. Like, I'm real interested to see how that's going to affect what he's doing in the ring, you
There
know.
are legitimate future stars in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're all stars in some way, but like there's top guy potential. Quite a few of them.
Without giving away like names, just in general talk. Do you ever like do you guys put matches together and you just think like you look at a match it's just like, a year from now, 2 years from now, they're going to be studs. It's just people need to know who they are.
Noah's very big on that, and he's got a good eye.
No, well, let me get you back in the mic, Noah. What's your, when you put these matches together, do you have that eye and vision and just say, all right, 2 years from now, one or two guys, or in fact, this entire match, this feud, whatever, this is going to be the real deal?
All the time. That's all I think about, honestly. Like, there is... I think our roster is so strong, and there's so many guys and girls that in a few years you're going to look back and be like, they were all in the same show?
Yeah, it's like going back in the day and seeing an old wrestling DVD, and like, they're all on this? Like some weird off-beaten show. Like, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, this guy's on the product. Like, what the... I'm getting mad, you know?
It's there's so many people that just have this strong potential that you just look at and you're like, okay, there's something there. They just need to work with the right people. And a lot of that will be me saying I want to use this person because I want them to learn from him and from Aaron Stevens and from a Tom Latimer or a Trevor Murdoch. A young guy that I think has a lot of potential is going to learn a lot from Trevor Murdoch on Saturday.
Yes. Yes, he is.
But there's a lot of that. And like looking back, Dante Casanova and PB Smooth. I think in a few years when that match happens, it's going to be selling out a building.
Yeah. Hopefully.
That's huge.
Tiffany and Maya.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Even just going back from the first show that you guys had to even now, Amanda, you talked about it the first go around that we were here. Like, it's like, man, you see the growth now, you know, and then like even a year from now, and like it's really cool to see.
I think that's the point. That's the point of me saying if you want a chance to get close to these people without having to pay a $500 meet and greet, now is your time, because Exodus does not mess around with people that are messing around. You know, these are all top caliber talent that are all very serious about this being a career. So they put the effort in, not just in the ring, but in the personality and doing the promo to give everybody that full experience. I mean, and then obviously when you're being trained by somebody who has done it, that's a lot different than getting with some local little promotion, you know, with a bunch of people that are like, we really love wrestling, so let's keep putting on shows. That's not going to push you to the next level. If they've never seen that level, how are they going to show it to you?
True.
It's definitely a leg up. Yeah.
I won't actually drop your mic.
I mean, you could try, but it's going to take a second to undo and yet unscrew it. And it's just,
All right, Pete, let's go to the next match. The slime balls. Oh, my goodness.
Well, having said that, here's Noah's little match.
Oh, Hayden.
Right.
Yeah, Hayden Backlund versus Trevor
yikes.
Murdoch.
It's almost like he comes from a famous family.
Some would say. He's a real Backlund, not a fake one, too. So, yeah, you have a former NWA World Champion, a former WWE Tag Team Champion, a surly, grizzled vet who still is at the top of his game against, I like to call Hayden a Gen Z douchebag, is how I envision him. And Noah's one of his biggest advocates, and it's not hard to advocate for him because he has a sky-high amount of potential. So, let's see what happens.
It's a really fun match.
Is that a secret message in Trevor's bangs?
Oh, my God.
Does anybody else see that?
Could we get our tinfoil hats
it
on
just
and
me?
decipher this?
Looks like
Yeah.
Aaron.
It might be.
Is this one of those situations?
It does!
Yeah, it does.
It's like the 3D print. Like, it took me a minute. Hell, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
It says buy tickets. Oh, wait, is that Tree Lawn Doors at 5:05? I see it. I see it.
What's the website? Exodus Pro Wrestling?
ExoProWrestling.com.
EXO.
EXOProWrestling.com.
You know, Pete was going to be great this week. I won't have to put down any graphics. No, nothing. I mean, this is going to be all good. It's in the case with Hayden. I wanted to ask real quick: is this a situation where he know he's good, and that's a problem in this match?
I never think it's a problem to know you're good, but then, how good are you?
We go find out.
Well, sometimes you got to throw the baby shark out into the water and see if he can swim with another big shark, right?
We go find out at 6:05 on Saturday.
Baby shark, baby shark.
We're both going to have it stuck in our heads.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be a full blast on the way home. Go ahead, Pete.
Here we go.
Yes.
Here we go.
The master of the canvas. Well, he was victorious in his signature match, which was the Master of the Canvas Presents, and that was the first time it ever happened. It was Ashton Day's Starry Night, and Ashton Day did see stars that night as Sebastian was victorious. So these two young upstarts have a, what we would call what in baseball? A rubber match? This will be their third encounter, perhaps final. May the best man win.
Speaking of baseball, EC3,
Yeah.
huge Guardians fan.
Yeah.
I saw you during the playoffs.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was the
He was all over the
mayor
place.
of
I know.
Cleveland
It was. I should
during
have.
that run.
I should have had flyers on me for the show. I forgot every time.
Dude, but
What a disappointment.
Ashton, legitimate star. He introduced me to some of his music at the last show, and he's got one song that's like on repeat in my playlist right now.
Really? I'd
So
love to hear it.
he's on Spotify. Just search for Ashton Day.
And he's from here, correct? He's from Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's big time. That's
Love
big-
that.
Yeah. Speak real quick about the Guardians. You know, everyone here in the studio are huge fans of the Guardians.
You may actually want to chop me now after I tell you who I'm a fan of.
Well, you're probably a fan of the Yankees. Yeah. That's okay. One thing I noticed about the Yankees fans,
Front runners.
a lot are for sure, but the ones that love baseball, like watching the game with them, they were very respectful. It's like a handshake and like good job, see you tomorrow. Then when they won, I'm like,
Where the hell were these
Are you
fans when I
talking
went
about
to the
Yankees
Yankees game
fans?
back
What
in
are you
April?
talking about?
This is
There
like
was a few.
McKenzie was
Maybe it was a
getting
being
little,
a microcosm. It's great.
the ones I encountered, but then there was, I will say a lot of them are assholes, okay? But then there were some Cleveland fans that were egging them on to where this really annoying Yankee fan was like, Yanks at 5, Yanks at 5. And, the Cleveland fans like giving him like, shut up. Because if they win, he's right. And they won, and he was right. And what are you going to do?
And it was
Like,
in five.
Beat him up.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
but
in
like,
five.
Assault.
That's the answer to every unanswerable question, okay?
Kick his ass.
Pat Kenny, Vice President
Please
of Talent
donate to my bail
Relations.
fund.
VP of Talent Relations with NWA, Pat Kenny, you might know him as Simon Diamond, right? Huge Yankees fan. So we had a wager where the winning team, we would wear their opposing jersey. So I had a Reggie Jackson away jersey on in the entirety of our last show we filmed for NWA. So felt
Hell
good to
no,
be
I
a winner.
wasn't agreeing to doing that. No.
I forgot that
You gave
Kyle
me
was a
ideas for
Yankees
next
fan.
time.
It makes me want to leave now.
So
Yeah.
there's a story behind it. It's not like I just one day decided, oh yeah, I'm a Yankee fan. The first
Oh.
professional thing I ever saw was Derek Jeter's debut.
That's cool.
So I just was
You a Cowboys fan too?
no Saints fan.
That's okay.
I have family in New Orleans.
Yeah,
Stop
Drew Brees-
judging me,
Drew
Amanda.
Brees is cool. Jameis, I like Jameis.
Don't tell me what to do.
He should have started the whole season.
Okay.
But
My first
we could talk about Deshaun next time. Let's keep it rolling.
my first memory
We talked
was
about it enough.
watching Tim Couch throw an interception. I said, I want to be a fan of that team.
Do you want Tim Couch awesome memory when they came from behind and beat Baltimore on that Hail Mary? And Baltimore fans are real horrible. But Tim Couch running off that field and he did this. I was like, that's my guy. If they had an offensive line, he would have been great. They had nobody else.
Sean Watson, never mind. No, if he could have an offensive line, it wouldn't matter. I admit I wanted him here, and I was wrong.
Not for that price. But anyways,
Let's move on. Back to wrestling. Let's go to our next.
there we go.
James.
There he is. NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
Florida Championship.
Latimer. Yep, triple threat. Anything can happen. We talked about it in great detail. This is kind of something, too, is like, as much as I dislike him, I respect Richard Holiday. I think he's a main event player for any company. And the fact maybe the other TV companies aren't seeing that yet, I think this is a good platform
Has
for him
he
to show it.
has he gotten his flowers yet? He's been asking for this for a while. I don't know if anyone's.
He got hit
Didn't he
in the,
have flowers last time?
yeah, he had a
He
flower.
never seems satisfied with the flowers he gets.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
He's kind of off the books conversation. He wants to do a casket match and then put the flowers on them.
Stop
I
it.
think that'd be cool.
Well, the mustache definitely helps making him look more intimidating, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in the theory of like your hair can determine whether or not you're a baby face or a heel?
That's a theory. everything plays a part. What's the theory you think, though? Because like there was a weird Vince thing about hair.
So from the outside as a fan, if you shaved your head, you're turning heel. That was so the weirdest thing when Bradshaw cut his hair.
Oh, then it became JBL.
Became JBL.
I think hair is a good asset to evolve a character at all times, which I've done a few times, and I might be doing now.
We have any other match graphics there, Pete? No, we just went in the order that I sent the email.
Here it
so
is.
it's not in.
Yes.
So it's
okay.
not. So the EC3. So the World Championship match. That's the main event. But there are other matches, including this.
Yeah, when we wind it down, I'm going to stare straight in that camera, get one shot, go through the card, and maybe I can post that and cut it up like some influencer bullshit for a final sell of the show. But let's talk about Dante Casanova. Dante's Inferno. So Dante Casanova, he wants another shot at the NWA Midwest Championship. Pastor CeeLo, being the nefarious critical thinker that he is, conjured up this challenge. Dante has to go through Dante's Inferno. Shout out to Virgil. Shout out to the Divine Comedy. One of my favorites. So how many circles of hell can Dante go through to get this title shot? We'll find out this Saturday.
I'm very curious to see what this means. Yeah.
By the way, Pretty Boy Smooth, he does not play. Like
No.
he
keeps it playa.
He does. He does. But he is very physical in the ring.
Subscribe to his Patreon.
Does he have one?
He is very physical in the ring. I'm not going like that was the thing that stood out to me watching him last time. Like he really he'll make you pay in the ring.
He's another guy too, like all the tools were there and it wasn't hard to make him that much better. Like, he was great. Till when we got him, he's ascended in his role tremendously. Very proud of him.
The one thing I noticed too, even in Journey 2, like you talk about like the flow of the matches. This is credit to your entire team, but if the shows fly,
Good.
they fly.
Dude, yeah, nothing's worse than a 4-hour show where you're just like, what the I mean, I don't want to.
I'm like, we were an hour in, and it's like, oh, it's already intermission. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They got a lot better at that.
Yeah, no, it took time too, and it took getting used to policing people's times.
No, and that's a serious thing. And the more that you develop them, and the more professional they get, and it's so many different parts and pieces between the production, the people in the background, and then the wrestlers themselves, and then even our little bit parts, And then now with the introduction of commentators, that's even another whole nother level. But I think that it's the stories have gotten better. People are more invested in those stories, so it feels like it goes faster, but it does literally go faster. You're looking at people that have spent a year doing this now. So everything it's quicker. They keep you, and it's just like you were asking about, how do you decide what order to put it in? And Dave Matthews, I like to quote, because he says, you do a quiet one, a loud one, a quiet one, a loud one, and then something in between.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Great.
You keep that pace going. You keep people's energy up, and you guide them through it. And then, 2 hours are gone like that. But their ability to do all of that within 2 hours is what they've really gotten, expert at in the last year.
Two-Step is my favorite DMB song.
I like number 41.
Oh, that's good too.
We do real quick do we have stuff on? Or no, we got this. Yes.
Cristiano. He's already. This is one of those things where it can go either way. The Roman triumph. So Cristiano Argento retained his crown in the Caesar skirmish, one of the most brutal and crazy matches in the history of professional wrestling. Watch it on NWA's YouTube, Journey 2. But he remains the Caesar, so he's hosting himself a celebration. Do you know what a Roman triumph is?
I do not, other than just a toga.
No, a triumph is when a conquering general or emperor or military figure comes back into Rome, and they have this parade through the streets, and the citizenry are all cheering, and then they have a big feast. They have wild animals, and sometimes they even have a human sacrifice. So
is someone gonna die on this show?
Don't answer that. Do not answer that.
They definitely march their prisoners of war through the people, and they throw tomatoes at them and rocks. It's
Is this why you guys asked me to wear white? I didn't know what I signed up for.
so.
I'm not a virgin. Pick
No.
somebody else.
I said off-white. Eggshells. Fucking.
I opened this door. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Shut it. Okay. We was mentioning real quick about the commentary, and this
There he
man
is.
will
Yes.
be on commentary.
Snack Daddy.
Now, I just want to point out we have too many daddies in this town. There's already Bloom Daddy, and then here's Snack Daddy.
J-Rock's the big daddy of destruction. But
Right?
yeah,
J-Rock Daddy. Give it up.
Daddy's home.
I'm not gonna tell. So on the very first show, J Rock was a heel, Kyle,
Yeah, you pile drove me.
and he told
Oh
me
my
to shut
God,
the
I
f up.
forgot about that.
I yelled to J Rock like they had a little spot. It's like hug it out. He's like shut up. And he gave me one of these.
You deserved it.
Little T-Rex arms going.
Yeah, man. J Rock's a great guy though. Now
He was so extra mean at that show. I
He
swear
was
to God.
man. turned it up,
I'm-
man.
I'm sitting there like, why is this guy?
But you
a-hole?
gotta understand.
now he's a great guy now.
I didn't know anything from anything, right? That was the first one I got pulled in. I was just ring announcing. I wasn't hosting anything, right? And when he started talking shit to me, I was like, what did I do? Did I step on his stuff backstage? Like I literally didn't get it at that point because it was still too new for me. And then, when it's over and he's like, all right, hey, good show, whatever. I was bewildered.
Right.
I'm like, what is this? He's so good at being a heel, but at the same time, man, I'll tell you what, watching that story change and when they got those tag team belts, that crowd lost their minds. And seeing them do their little victory lap, not little, I don't mean to demean them. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
just
it was
talk
big
this
time.
way.
It was big
but
time.
it was such energy through that room. It was incredible. I didn't even expect it to be that big of a deal, but it was like everybody in that room felt like they just got a victory for Cleveland. And it was just tremendous.
I know we're running short on time. Kyle, do you have a final question for the team before we get to the final sales pitch?
I actually just want to ask you one more time why you're going to be NWA World Champion
Because I'm
come
dead.
Saturday night.
Because it's already foretold. You'd think being a 3-time world heavyweight champion, I'd rest on that because 3's in the name. But I'm more into derivatives. So like if I want to put a prime number attached to it, maybe I could be a 9-time champion. Well, when I win it next time, I'm never going to lose it again until I retire or die. So I have to find the significance of the number 4. But having said that, I don't know because I'm running the show, so of course I'm going to win, right?
I have a follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
If you don't win, what's next for you?
Time will tell. Maybe a reimagining, revisioning, re-envisionment. Maybe I'll just go away for a little bit.
So is there thoughts in your head of like, hey, if I can't get it done this level, do I walk away?
No, there's thoughts in my head that if I don't get it done this time, I should probably go to Costa Rica and take ayahuasca and find God, and then come back rejuvenated, and then really take it back. But until then,
Okay.
Yeah. I don't advocate DMT, mushrooms, or ayahuasca. I'm making jokes, guys.
I thought
After
we were
the show, he's
planning a
gonna-
field
You're on a
trip.
podcast. You'll be fine. You'll be perfectly fine. I'm a little. That really raised the stakes though for this championship match. It really just like
And we're dealing with in theory, 2 different kind of levels. We have NWA Exodus and NWA proper, and like what's happening there and what's going on over there. And we're in the midst of like negotiations and TV deals and all these other things. The plate is full. I think as a company, it behooves them for me to be the champion because Tom can barely speak English, though he's English. But we'll see.
okay. I have no follow up for that other than if we can, let's put a single shot on EC3.
Real fast, I just
Go
want to
ahead.
say the amount of hell I put Tom Latimer through for 2 years, he kind of owed me one. Like I reamed him and destroyed him and emasculated him and hurt his soul multiple times. So I guess I was due for one. But we'll take it back this Saturday at the Tree Lawn. All right.
At what time?
6:00.
Doors 5:05. Show starts 6:05.
Check the dark match out. Meet the stars of tomorrow today. And by today, I mean Saturday.
All right, let's put the one shot
Okay.
on Mr. EC3.
All right, hot content thing. 3, 2, 1. NWA Exodus presents Usual Suspects this Saturday, the Tree Lawn, 6:05 p.m. And on the NWA's YouTube. Yeah. We're going live, pal. What do we have in store? Glad you asked. Major League, the tag team champions of Exodus Pro, are defending in an open challenge. Who has the gumption? Who has the gall to accept that challenge? I have a good idea who it's going to be. Then you're going to throw it to the NWA World's Champion, the WWE Tag Team Champion. This man has had championships everywhere he's gone. Now he's here in Exodus Pro. Trevor Murdoch against our own young Gen Z douchebag Hayden Backlund. Can't wait to see that strap match. What do you mean strap match? I mean, these two gentlemen are going to be tied together. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Sebastian, the master of the canvas, versus the Ultra Star, Ashton Day. It is a rubber match. Who is the better man? Find out Saturday. Bring it on back. We have Aaron Stevens presents. To the victor go the spoils. A tag team title shot. Repeat. A tag team title shot. A Midwest championship. Midwest championship shot are on the line as the Slimeballs and Carson Drake will be in a 6-man tag team match against Man Bun, Jesus, Sam Beal, and the spin kick master himself, Lord Crew. Tune in, find out, see it. It's gonna rule. Guess who's in town? You didn't? Good guess. Strictly Business Brandon Beretta will be in action. The most exhilarating wrestling star you have ever seen will be at the Usual Suspects. Throw it back. We're going to go to intermission. What happens after intermission? Oh, my Lord, PB Smooth, the NWA Midwest champion, is on top of the world. But that world might belong to Leo Fox, who has earned a championship match through his hard work, his loyalty, and his dedication. You're going to throw it back from that. What's going to happen next? Who's the next challenger for the NWA Midwest Championship? Good question. Is it Dante Casanova? Well, if he can survive Dante's Inferno, it will be him. You're going to have the guts to tell me there's a Roman triumph? The Caesar of Exodus Pro, Cristiano Argento, real Italian excellence, will be marching prisoners of war and men in togas to celebrate his retaining of the Caesar of Exodus Pro. You gotta see that. It's gonna be great. Or the worst, Maya World challenges Tiffany Nieves, La Princesa herself, for the Exodus Pro Women's Championship. A lot on the line. Kylie Page will be there. All eyes on those women. Can't wait. Main event, Richard Holiday, a.k.a. Most Marketable, v. EC3, a.k.a. Overman, v. NWA World Heavyweight Champion Tom Latimer. Triple threat match. Whom is leaving Cleveland, Ohio, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion? Find out this Saturday. Let's see.
Ow!
Okay. Thank you.
Checks in the mail.
Listen, that is not easy to do. It's not. I remember watching Dana White do those all the time before pay-per-views, and he was just going a whole different level and stuff. That is
Gotta dial in.
Didn't see the trick. It's to say 3, 2, and don't say anything on the 1, and then boom, you're in there.
Wayne's World taught us that when we were young. I guess I still like.
I always forget we're the same age.
Oh man, well that's gonna do it for the show. The show went all over the place, but as always, we bring it back home and we wrap it up. But we cannot wait.
Yeah.
Our entire team, we're gonna be at Usual Suspects at 5:05. We'll be there where the doors open, and of course, 6:05 the show starts. If you are just getting to your seat at 6:04, good luck. You need to get there as early as possible.
Yeah, we actually start on time, so.
VIP sold out. Still some tickets available. You got to go to exoprowrestling.com and scoop those tickets up before they're gone.
And we will post on the on this video at the bottom of the screen. We'll post the ticket information so you can go.
I actually have to save 2 tickets for the doctor that drained my knee of 40 liters of fluid today, so remind me.
I tried so hard not to respond with a emoji when you said you were doing that, but now you see my face.
In the game. This shit hurts.
Yeah.
You know, I could have wrapped it up like 3 minutes ago, but it's too much
Yeah, it's
great
like
content.
It's like the Lord of the Rings. It's never going to end.
Oh man, that's good stuff. Noah, thank you. Even though Noah's off
Yeah,
camera.
Noah.
That might actually be a bit. That might be on purpose. Just
We love bits.
there was another bit I was gonna do, but I passed on it today. I was gonna wear a tie.
Oh yeah,
Last
okay.
episode.
He's always in a tie. What the?
I was gonna wear this, but just a tie over it. But
It still would work.
it could have worked.
And I would have made fun of you for it, but that's fine.
I know. Amanda Casey, Amanda, you're gonna have to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Of course, WONE on the morning show. Spats and Amanda, you can check it out. 97.5.
Amanda's a vibe. She
She is.
brings a vibe. It's a good vibe.
EC3 right now without a world championship, but we'll see if he comes back next time. He's with the world title. I don't know if he's going to come back though if he loses this match though. So I'm
A
highly
little concerning
concerned.
with that answer.
Well,
They
like,
disappear. I mean, I don't
Well,
know,
for
man.
a little bit.
Well, what's a
I'll
little?
always be with you guys, all right? Even if I'm just floating around as a spirit.
Thought that was
You
Man
could
Bun Jesus.
pick anybody else from EXO to come sit
Yeah,
here.
I want to
Who
bring more
would you
talent
want?
on. I don't.
I think
would-
for monetary purposes, we have to say Mike from State Farm if you technically count.
Outside of Mike, who would you guys love to have on here?
I'd honestly love to get Tiffany on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pastor CeeLo. I need
That'd be-
That's personal for
twin?
you.
I
Yeah.
think Pastor and PB would be dope.
Oh my God, shut up! If Pastor comes on, I'm gonna hook you up with a pastor robe.
No.
Yes,
I'm not in
Yes.
shape for that.
your
Yeah.
fiance approves. It's
She just made all our
happening.
fans' dreams come true. All right.
It would be
I'm not
so
in shape for that.
awesome.
Are those Johnson and Murphys?
They're not.
Actually, I'll give you another answer though. Just for visual purposes, the slime balls.
Yeah. I wonder how they would do in a serious interview.
I
setting.
kind of want to know.
We both come in suits that day just to make it
Yeah,
feel
we'll
more
wear
like,
suits.
You
We'll
guys,
actually tape their entrance from over there. And
you weren't at the show where the slime ball took place, were you?
I don't think so.
Oh, I
I
can't
think
wait
that
to
was the one
release it.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a mess.
Ooh, boy.
There's PP punches,
Yeah.
everything. It's a nightmare.
Somehow they always end up in the dumpster outside. I mean, if you're prepared for that chaos.
The little one powerbombed me through a table. It was.
I think our audience will love Man Bun Jesus as well.
Yes.
Yes.
I think our audience will love Man Bun Jesus. I think they would eat that up. But honestly, again, you guys talked about the stack roster. Like anybody would be great, but you don't want to hear that answer. So I just gave you some names.
Yeah, we won the wish list. We won the wish list. You know, you guys are official Exodus Pro fans now. You know, and as expert wrestling fans, I had to know who your wish list was from EXO.
I think Hayden too would be interesting for me, just from a standpoint of someone who has all this potential and it's seen from the people that are, guiding him along that path. Where he's at with that. So
And we'll take, if there's two people or more in a feud, we'll take that too.
Yeah, just have to
we'll
keep
split
it
them up.
separate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're getting a little
We'll take.
extra there. Calm it down.
We'll
Well,
take.
he bounces at nightclubs
So,
on Saturday
yeah.
night, so he can always just
Where's
pop
my
in
third
between
Red
them.
Bull?
Get
Huh?
Jake, we'll get
Stop
Jake.
it.
Yeah, Jake and Mike from State Farm because they're gonna have a blood feud for the ages.
That'd be dope.
All right.
Can I pay more for my ticket if that?
Right?
It'll be $20. Here's 40.
Forget the ticket. I want to talk about insurance. I want to talk real insurance. Like,
What do you
I wanna
mean
get
you're
some
wrestling?
deals.
I thought
wanna
you were
get
going to
some-
give me a homeowner's
Listen.
quote.
Listen, we're talking top of the
Well,
line
can
deals.
you save me by bundling?
Yes, please. All right, that'll do it. Again, thank you all for joining us here on the Side Hustle Podcast. Again, Saturday, 6:05. You need to be there. All the ticket information in the description. So definitely check it out. We'll see you all on Saturday. And we'll see you guys next week for more of the Side Hustle Podcast. You can listen. Oh, and we have audio listeners too. So they're listening as well.
Spotify, iHeartRadio app, all over the place.
You do some ASMR for them? Hello. Just do your...
Like you're talking to Tom Latimer, but you're a girl.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Good place to cut.
That's it.
It's like ASMR, BSME one.
ASMR. ASMR. I knew when I said it, you didn't know what the hell I was saying. I was like,
Just
damn
like
it.
staring, dead like.
Yes.
Damn it.
BDM.
BDSM.
Oh, cool.
What's